Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today we will talk about semester first assignments for the subject Information System for Managers ISM, and this is for June 2023 cycle. So this is the first video which I am posting for the June 2023 cycle, and for semester one I think they are just working on the assignments for the very first time. So there are a couple of things that I just want to quickly cover before starting the actual stuff. So as you're already aware that assignments cover 30 marks out of the total 100 marks, in which we are having the three questions: first, second, third A and third B, and each question is of 10 marks. The maximum word limit is 1000 words plus minus 10% is acceptable. For third question is 500 plus 500 words. And if we talk about the two important concepts, then just keep two things in your mind while preparing your assignments. The one stuff is the copy case, and second is plagiarism. So, firstly, don't share your assignments with anyone, irrespective you have completed your assignments or you have uploaded it first. Even if you share it with your colleague and he also uploaded the same, maybe he uploaded it on the last day or maybe on the last second day, it doesn't matter, both will get the 0 marks. So guys, don't share your assignments with anyone. Second thing is the plagiarism. So you can refer to internet, you can refer to NMIMS books, or you can refer to different presentation or different case studies. Whatever you want to refer, you can, but don't write the content directly from there. Just read the content, understand it, and write it down and frame the sentences in your own words. Otherwise, again, it will get under plagiarism, and your all your efforts will go in vain, and you will get the 0 marks, right? If I talk about this subject, ISM is more or less towards the IT part, and so those who are the working professionals and already linked with the IT or had done their BTech or from computer science background, they find this subject pretty much easy. Those who are from non-techie background, for them also the subject is quite easy. You can just refer to my short videos as well to just get a quick understanding of the different chapters. But yes, you need to put a little bit extra efforts in just working on the on this particular subject, right? So now let's start with this video. So for first time students who are watching this video for the very first time, I just want to give a brief that in my videos uh I just cover most of the stuff related to the assignments, wherein we discuss that okay, this is the question. Firstly, we understand what is being asked in the question, then we just refer to the book page numbers which content to be written, what extra stuff which we can add to just gain the maximum marks. So just refer to these videos carefully and start working on your assignments. So let's start for this video. So this is the ISM subject. You can just download this assignments PDF by logging to your NMIMS portal. On the left hand side there's exams and assignments, and when you click on the assignments you will get all the six subjects, and you can just download this PDF file for your references. So it's applicable for June 2023 cycle. There are few instructions which you can refer. That's totally fine. There are the three questions which we are going to discuss: first, second, third A, and third B. Right. Let's start with our first question. It's ComT Prep is an educational institute which helps the aspirants to prepare for the engineering and medical exam. There are around 20 branches across the country. The aspirants' base is exploding on year basis, suggests a cloud solution strategy to help manage the entire operations of Comp Prep. Also, detail out the features and benefits of the cloud solution strategy. So, firstly, we need to understand that here we are talking about the education sector. There is one institution. The name is little bit tricky, so I don't want to use the name again and again. So it's an educational institute which mainly deals for the engineering and medical preparations, right? So first thing which is being mentioned, there are around 20 branches across the country. It means it is vastly its branches are very variedly splitted, and there are different branches around the country. Next thing is the aspirant base is exploding on year basis. Like initially we were having just they were having just maybe 100 or 1000 people candidates. After that it exploded to 5,000, 10,000. So it's exploding in an exponential fashion, right? So we need to discuss about the cloud solution strategy. So while writing the answer, okay, let's firstly see what needs to be written, and what are the different page numbers you can refer. So firstly, we need to refer to the page number 163. So going to the page number 163. So firstly, we just need to give an introduction. Okay, what is cloud computing? You just need an explain. Okay, the things are being hosted on cloudly on a cloud environment, and you can just refer. You can just likely copy paste this infrastructure, the snapshot. You can take the snip and just attach it, but do mention the source, like it is being referred from the ISM book and this figure 6.1, right? So you can just refer to this. That's the one thing. After that, it comes to the page number 165, where you just specify about the different advantages and features of the cloud computing. So if I talk about writing these answers where there's some kind of case study being provided, you can just write it in two ways. The very first thing is you can just give a general overview of like what is cloud computing you just mentioned, and after that in the end you just refer it with our case study. In our case study there's one educational institution which is being given, so you can just relate it. That is one approach. The second approach is you can start writing like cloud computing, just write 3 or 4 liners, and after that explain it in reference to the case study. After that, like if you are writing the advantages and features, like if we talk about scalability, just give a brief introduction. Okay, what is scalability, and after that relate it with the case study. I prefer the second approach because in second approach you are explaining each and every stuff, so it's easily relatable and the content seems to be pretty much clear, right? Otherwise you can use any of your approach which suits you, right? But yes, do mention about these institution education institute. Don't write the generic statements, the generic terms, because these things can easily be available on internet, right? But you need to specifically refer about that educational institute, right? So if I talk about the certain advantages and features, like the first one is the scalability. Scalability means it can be easily scalable, means where we are having a certain number of users, the volume is getting changed, increased day by day basis. So it's similarly you can relate, because in question is clearly mentioned that its total number of students are increasing on exponentially on year basis. So yes, it's scalable. So that's one of the feature. Second is elasticity, right? So it can expand or contract based on the demand. Again, it's quite relatable. Like if in some year suppose the count of students will get decreased, then it can automatically get decreased, and if you want to stretch, it can be stretched as per your requirement. Next is measured use. The more you use it, it purely depends, like measurement is done based on the uses. It's not like you need to pay a fixed amount. The more you use, the more you need to pay, right? So CPU utilization or everything based on the uses, right? So here you can say the many different vendors, and you are having the different manufacturers, we are having the different brands, and you can just sometimes you can measure it purely based on the utilization in the basis of cycles per unit, right? User space pricing, again we just discussed a little bit in the previous one, where you just need to pay based on your uses. Next is managed services. So there are multiple types like PaaS, SaaS, so right. So in one case, everything is being managed by the third party. In one case, is managed by directly by the organization, or in some cases, it's a mix of this. So here, it purely depends like how you want to manage. Obviously, the content will be managed by the organization, right? Because here, they provide some questions, they provide some kind of exam, everything is managed, right? But if I talk about how the things will happen, then these are being managed by the technical expertise, right? Then service levels, so we are having the different service levels depending on the current and the forecasted demand of the system, right? Which can be changed on time to time basis, right? Ubiquitous access, it simply means you can access it anytime anywhere. So students definitely look that sometimes, and you are pretty much aware that in the COVID times it's not possible for to visit the institutions physically, so that's why they just want an access of anytime and anywhere. Even in the midnight, if I just want to study, I can easily refer to the website or the portal or the LMS system. You can say it's a learning management system, right? So you can just refer it. Heterogeneity, definitely different things are coming with the time. Different servers are there, different computer networks, everything are changing day to day basis, and they are having a number of varieties. So heterogeneous means it can work with the different operating systems, different databases, different CPUs, different infras, right? Reduce setup time. In order to set up a single server at 20 different positions, it's quite time taking, but yes, if you can just set up one server at a centralized place and you can access it all to the different 20 places, then the setup time will get reduced. Resource pooling, thus resources can be pooled at a common place, right? If you are having the different branches, like it's mentioned in the question, then instead of having the each branch a different database or using the resources, why can't we just put it at a common place and it can be accessed, all the branches can access from a single place. So these are all things which you can just refer. And one thing is on page number 173, if I can just refer. Yeah. So last but not the least, you can just specify the few reasons why it being adopted to the cloud, like application that have volatile demand, low business risk and commodity applications, application that require the collaboration or big data and the storage analysis, capital available for infrastructure is low. So these are the few things that you can add on in the conclusion part. So this is the way how you can just refer to the answer the first question. Now moving to our second question. You are the owner of a startup manufacturing company in Pune and have a total of 100 employees. To streamline the operations of various departments of your organization, which particular system would you use to automate the various inter processes of your organization? State the benefits of the implementation and the challenges faced while implementing it. Right. So, firstly, you need to understand that okay, this question what is being asked. It is being asked that you need to provide some system which can automate the different processes going within the organization. Right, and the organization is a startup. It's a, you can say, the overall budget is low, that we can imagine, and the total of 100 employees, right? So these are the key terms, just keep in your mind. So which page numbers to refer? So going to the page number 293. So firstly, you need to introduce about the different business processes that you can just refer and relate it with any startup company. You can refer it, right? Uh, no need to write so much of things, but you can just cut out few chunks, read it, and just write it down. Then next is difference between a manual and online process. So you can just relate, like in a manual process how the things will go in a corporate. Most of you are the corporate employees, so you know how if I just want to maybe just get something to be done, right? What are the different steps which you follow manually, and after that you can just compare it with how the things will be done automatically, or you can say via the online process. Maybe you can just give a few steps based on your understanding, or maybe you can just skip this part. That's not a mandate. And after that goes to the page number 302. So if I'm going to the page number 302, so in 302 we are mentioning about the ERP system. So in question is being asked that which system will you use, so we are going to use an ERP system, right? So firstly you need to introduce, like it was introduced by SAP, and the most commonly used is SAP. You need to brief, maybe you can just give a brief background of this ERP system. Then comes the most important part where we are talking about the different modules and the departments. Like one is accounting, one is the sales department, one is HR department, one is manufacturing department. So you need to relate it all these terms with respect to you can say a startup company, and after that you can just write these different pointers, and maybe not much, but yes, 2 or 3 liners of each different functions and its modules, right? So that thing you need to refer. And I think there's one more stuff you need to mention if I talk about the challenges. So going to our last CRM, that's not required. Moving on to our last step is something about the challenges in ERP implementation. So you can just refer to this ERP implementation, and you need to relate it more towards the startup system, because being it's a startup system, the cost is low. You get a lot of criticism. It's quite difficult for a startup to just go for the ERP system that you can mention, and these like the change management. You can say the top management support, controlling costs, restricting customization, vendor selection. So these are the few pointers which are being required for the successful, and which can become a challenge if it's not being implemented in a correct fashion. So you can just mention these things as well. Then moving to the third question. So in third question, many students ask us, sir, firstly, can we give an introduction about the third? Then we write third A, then we write third B. So guys, please, third question, there is no existence of third question. We are having either 3A or 3B, right? So when you just start writing, just write answer 1. then write answer 2, then write answer 3A, right? And if you want to give the introduction, you need to specify in answer 3A and 3B as well, but make sure that both the content should not be same. You need to make some differences in the content, and definitely the questions are quite different. Definitely relates to a common case study, but the answers are pretty much different. So just see what needs to be written. So the if talk about the third A question, you are a personal blogger and you are much keen on penning down your thoughts in the form of blogs. The blogging platform used by you can be any depending on your choice. What could be the possible vulnerabilities and threats relating to the blogging platform? Explain any three vulnerabilities or threats in detail. So firstly you need to understand that okay, what are the possible threats and vulnerabilities which normally arises. Then you need to relate it with the blogging platform. So let's see what's been given in the book. So firstly I'm just referring to the page number 197. So going to the 197, so it's given as a threat to the organization. So make sure here it's being asked threats to the organization, and in the question we are talking about the threats to the blogging platform. So don't write everything from there. You can just write okay, what are threats, what are the common types of threats, and then relate it with the blogging platform. Don't write that okay, this threats to the organization is given and you can just write it ad hocly from there, right? Now we need to talk about the different threats. So if you talk about malware is more related towards any application, any software. So you can't write malware over there, although it's a threat, but it's not a threat in case of the blogging platform, right? So we need to talk about the actual you can say blogging platforms issues. Like one is the cracking, or you can say hacking, that you can just refer where the where some that you can say hacking where your complete platform is being hacked. Then is espionage, you can just refer to this as well. One bets is the reverse engineering which is being mentioned, right? So this is one thing which you can just two pointers because you need to refer five things. Then next is phishing is simply cloning your existing blog website, so it's the another you can say threat. Then next is identity threat, your identity is being compromised, that is another thing which you can refer. And last but not the least of the DOS attack, which normally happens on some famous websites, on some famous blogs. So these are the five which you can refer. You can just refer to internet, you can find n number of maybe, or but if you talk about the book, in book these are the commonly five ones which you can just relate it with the blogging platform, right? So third A question is pretty much clear. Moving to our third B question, suggest and describe at least two protective measures to overcome the vulnerabilities and threats related to the blogging platform. So again, in the first question we are talking about the threats. In second question we are just looking for the steps so which it can be overcome, right? So you can see the questions are pretty much different. So going to the page number 206. So in 206 is mentioned the technologies for handling security. Again, it depends. You are talking about application or you are talking about the blogging website, right? So encryption. Encryption is when you are sending some message. So it's more related to some application. So you can't mention these stuff with your question, right? So what are the most commonly I have just mentioned, and just going to the page number 210. So again, publicly is not a part, so I have not mentioned it over here. If you go firewall is the most commonly used, where we just attach some firewall to just avoid any malicious crackers or intruders to come in. That is the one thing which you can refer. The second is VPN. So VPN is you are just putting its indirect access. You are creating some kind of tunnel to just access your website or your you can say blogs via some third party network, right? So this is VPN. So these are the two measures. There are a number of other like the wireless technology, Wi-Fi routers, which I didn't find. It can be easily related. Bluetooth, RFID. These are more towards the application side. So sorry. So that's why I have not added these wireless sensor. All these are the various ways to overcome the security threats, but that can't be directly related with the blocking platform. So this way you can just write third week question. So make sure you are writing the right content, you are writing it properly. You can just refer to these videos, and again, if you have any doubts or facing any issue, feel free to just connect to me at ngasc.mba@gmail.com. Not only for this subject, maybe for any other subject, or maybe if you have any doubt related to the content, subject, or anything, just you can just connect to me. And if you like this video, do like, do subscribe, and stay connected for further videos. Thank you so much.